there, I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show.
Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? I'm so excited to be back in the room with you and to share a lesson that I learned late in life that I wish I had known better sooner. And here's the thing. This is a lesson I learned in high school as a teenager, like so many of the teens I get to work with now in my one-on-one coaching practice. But today, as a confidence coach, I see the lesson from a different lens, and that's the one through which I'm going to tell it. If you tuned into the episode Setting the Stage for Self-Confidence with Jessie Fisher, then you might have heard this story before. But it's a good one with a critical lesson about cultivating self-confidence and easily applicable tools to do just that, which I plan to share. So stick around even if you heard that episode. And if you didn't hear that episode, do yourself a favor and bookmark it for after this one. It's not one of those, if you missed that, you won't be able to catch up here. It wasn't a sequel, prequel sort of situation. But that episode, it's a real treat. And Jessie gives us so much goodness in it. Okay, so let me set the scene for this story. And that's what it was. It was a scene from the Tempest, my first foray into Shakespeare theater. Jessie and I were both sprites in the play. I believe she played Ariel, and I was her fellow fairy on the stage. I'm giggling to myself as I'm telling the story. I want to be like, gather round, my friends, as I tell you a tale. Maybe it's the Shakespeare in me. Okay, I digress. Here we go. The Tempest. I cannot express how much I loved this play and the role that I got to play in it. I believe my sprite, I'm going to see if I can find photos from it to add to the social media promotion I do on the Coach Chronicles for this, because I think my sprite was the embodiment of fire. And my costume and makeup was red and gold glitter. And I was this mythical, like, human recreation of fire. It was so cool. And the sprites had this one incredible scene in the show where we did a fairy dance. And as I wrote the show notes for today and I, took myself back in time to that performance and that particular moment of the show, the fairy dance, I mean, it literally brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it because it was so beautiful and so magical. The music, the movement. I mean, magical is really the only word I can use to describe it. And like any play, we rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed for months. We had the lines and the staging. It was just like ingrained in our brains. If you've ever been in a play before, it becomes like a second language. You know it so well. And you're so prepared for those few live performances, like literally hundreds of rehearsals for a few nights on the stage. So when the curtain rose for opening night, you better believe we were ready. So prepared. We knew exactly what to expect. I mean, of course we did. We rehearsed for months. Now, it might have been opening night or perhaps the second or third night into our run. Don't fact check me on any of this. When the lights came up for our magic sprite scene and that magical dance, and we waited on the stage for the musical cue to start our dance. And we waited. And waited. And waited. Y'all, it might have been 15, 30 seconds, perhaps a minute at most. But when that music did not come on and we were standing on the stage waiting for it with a live studio audience, I swear to you, it felt like an hour. It was probably 30 seconds. Anyway, And I can't remember the thoughts that went into my mind in that moment, but I do remember the feeling. It was panic, total panic on a stage with a live audience. My friends, panic. As I spiraled into panic, wondering what we were going to do and like how this was going to just be so terrible, I remember Jessie started to hum the song that we had all heard at least 100 times at this point during all those rehearsals. And once she started to hum, I followed along, and so too did all my fellow sprites. We shifted from panic to this effortless humming, and we just started the dance without the music. We created the music ourselves. Of course, moments later, the music came on, and we calmly went back to our places, and once again, we did the dance as we had always planned to do it. I was reminded of this story a couple months ago when I arrived for a class at Bright Bowls here in Highland Park with Jenny Muslin, who leads Dance Sculpt. And we had showed up at the studio for the class, and there was no air conditioning, no electricity, and a huge group of workers right outside the door drilling. Needless to say, the instructor had not planned for any of the above. Sort of like how us mythical, magical sprites had not planned for the music to not come on. Now, in my 40 years of lessons learned, this is one that I know for sure, my friends. Life will never go exactly as planned. Sure, sometimes things do go as planned, but that seems to be the exception more than the rule. And we don't really get excited when things go as planned. We expect it to happen that way, right? And we collectively learned this lesson in 2020. When life as we knew it turned upside down, everything we knew just changed in a moment. All our plans, literally and figuratively, went out the window, and pivot became the buzzword of the pandemic. Try as we may, we cannot control the world. We can't control other people. We can't control the music and the stage production of the Tempest at Highland Park High School, or the construction of streets and sanitation in downtown Highland Park. This is true in high school. This is true in college. This is true in life. So much is out of our control. Even sometimes the things we rely on to simply go as planned don't always go as planned. And while we can't control the world, we can always control who we are and how we respond when things don't go as planned. And that starts with what we think. Like I said, I don't remember what my beautiful brain offered me in the moment on stage when the lights came up and the music did not. But even as I retell the story, if you could feel my pulse right now, I remember the panic. It leads me to believe that the thought was something like, uh-oh. Or something much less much more colorful and less polite than uh-oh. But it was probably some flavor of, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, SOS. Now, notice how those thoughts, uh-oh, or I don't know what to do, those thoughts are roadblocks to action. They induce panic, right? They keep you stuck, confused, paralyzed. Fill in your flavor of feeling when you think, I don't know what to do. And probably if you follow the breadcrumbs of that thought, I don't know what to do, and I can't handle it, right? In that moment on stage, I was a deer in headlights. Like, literally, I was a fairy under the spotlight. Those thoughts, uh-oh, or I don't know what to do, or I can't handle this, do not conjure confidence. What Jessie consciously thought in that moment, I don't know. But from the other side of this experience, from the lens of a confidence coach, I offered these as possible thoughts that fueled her to do what she did next. I can figure this out. I can make this work. I can handle this. If I could boil down self-confidence into a needlepoint pillow quote, it is that, my friends. This is the secret to self-confidence. I can handle this. I can handle the panic. No doubt she felt the panic, right? I can handle this doesn't say I don't feel that emotion. It actually says I can handle this situation and all the feels that come with it. I'm not going to let it stop me. Self-confidence is contingent upon self-trust, knowing that you are the capable captain of your ship, that you trust you, that if you have to make a call in the moment, like Jessie did on that stage, or Jenny did when everything went wrong for her class, that you believe in yourself and your ability to handle it. Even when everything goes wrong, even when everything doesn't go as planned. We all trust ourselves when things go as planned. It's in those moments that life will throw our way when things don't go as planned that we need to look within to say, I can handle this. Those thoughts aren't just helpful for the times like these. I'll say it again. Yeah, confidence is great for the deer in headlights or fairy under the spotlight moments of life. But it is truly one of the most powerful emotions to have in your emotional toolkit to go after goals, to create healthy relationships, to start new friendships, to start new chapters. All of it. Self-confidence is a superpower. I recently had the pleasure of leading a back-to-school confidence camp for kids 8 to 10 because I knew the secret to starting the school year successfully was self-confidence. We tapped into it like a superpower. It is a superpower. And as so many of us start the school year again, start new chapters, start new experiences, confidence is critical. And luckily, as I've said before, I will say it many, many times more. Self-confidence is available to all of us. Self-confidence is not a genetic lottery ticket that some of us win at birth. Self-confidence is a choice you make when you choose to love, trust, and believe in you. And that's a choice you can always make. And when you make it, you take actions fueled by it. Just like Jessie, starting to hum that song. Like all feelings, self-confidence comes from your thinking. And thoughts like, I can handle this. I got it. Or one of my favorite quotes from Maria Forleo, everything is figure-outable. Woo! All those thoughts, they cultivate confidence. And so many of us struggle with this. And I think the idea of believing you can handle it or believing you got this is both frightening and foreign to many of us. And we as women are conditioned to believe we can't, in fact, handle it. A belief that fuels mistrust and actions like second-guessing yourself, doubting yourself, asking everyone and their mother, including your mother, for their opinion or advice. Seeking validation that your choice or your next move is the right one. I have right in air quotes, the right one. Of course, when we do those things, when we ask everyone for their opinion, when we seek the validation, when we spin in that beautiful brain of ours, we prove the thought true that we can't handle it, right? See? I can't handle it. I've looked everywhere for evidence of how they would handle it. So to start strengthening self-confidence, you must start practicing the lines of your self-confidence script. And I use that even in my one-on-one coaching practice, not just when I'm talking about the Tempest. And the lines of your self-confidence script sound something like this. I can handle whatever happens. I can handle this. I got this. Now, when you struggle to believe that, if that is foreign and frightening to you, I want you to take some time to consider all the reasons why you can handle it. Think of all the times in your past that you've risen to the occasion. Now, it might not be this exact scenario, but I promise there are other times that you have handled it when things don't go as planned. All the times you did something that you've never done before. All the times that you've picked yourself back up, dusted yourself off, and tried again. We all have moments like these in our past, but we don't often focus on them, especially in those deer in headlight moments, right? When panic takes over. So I urge and encourage you to start. If you need help with this, please grab a copy of my self-love library. I will put it in the comments or the show notes for you, so you can download a copy. This idea of practicing the belief, I can handle this, I got this, I trust me, is so critical, especially now when you think about our teens and young adults going back to school, starting a new year. Each of them have an evidence file of past first days of school, past new experiences that they've not only survived, but likely thrived. But in the moment of panic of like, I don't know what the school year is going to bring. I mean, because we don't know how it's going to go because it's not planned. We don't know. It's really easy to default to, I can't handle this and go into panic versus I got this. I trust myself. I believe in me. Believing in your ability to handle whatever comes your way is a choice. And that is a choice available to all of us. Starts by believing it's possible. Starts by believing in you, my friend. And you can always choose to believe in you. And if you struggle to do that, start practicing lines of your self-confidence script. Find the one that lights you up. Find the one that you can believe. And if you are struggling with that, this is at the core of what I do in my one-on-one coaching practice. Self-confidence is a skill. And like any skill, it is one that can be learned. And I would love to teach you. I would love to teach your teen. So with that in mind, I am planning another Self-Confidence Simplified Masterclass in September. So if you want a little self-confidence 101 for you, your teen, your young adult who just went off to college and might be struggling with her belief in herself to handle it, be sure to visit confidencecoachforgirls.com and get on my mailing list because I will get you all the details about that. My friends, why didn't they tell us that even when the world feels out of our control, we can always control who we are in response to it? Why didn't they tell us that the thoughts we think will determine how we show up on stage and in life? Why didn't they tell us the thoughts we think about ourselves are choices we make? And we can always choose to trust, love, and believe in ourselves. I believe in that. And I believe in you. You got this, my friend. And I know you can handle it and handle it all. Till next time.
Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.